Hi everyone, my name is Alida Valdez, and today I'll be presenting Jane Jacobs and her influence in urban planning and architecture. Jane Jacobs, born in 1916, is an American-Canadian journalist, author, activist, and urbanist. Jacobs began as a journalist writing for a variety of magazines, later America, a publication for the U.S. State Department. She later then met and married her husband, an architect, and began writing for the Architectural Forum, where she dived into topics concerning urban planning. And even without no formal education in planning, her 1961 book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities, presented ideas about how cities functioned and failed, in which future architects and planners would then implement in their own practices. She lived most of her life within the New York neighborhood village of Greenwich. However, in 1968, after being arrested for inciting a crowd on the cancellation of the Lower Manhattan Expressway, she then moved to Toronto till her death in 2006. Some of her other works include The Economy of Cities, The Question of Separatism, Quebec and the Struggle over Sovereignty, Cities and the Wealth of Nations, Systems of Survival, The Nature of Economies, Dark Age Ahead, and Vital Little Plans. In examining cities, Jacob supported the ideas of high-density cities, local economies, examines the sidewalk as a tool for safety and contact, city neighborhoods, and city diversity with ideas of mixed-use buildings, small blocks, and a mix of old and new. As stated by Jane Jacobs, intricate minglings of different uses in cities are not a form of chaos. On the contrary, they represent a complex and highly developed form of order. She supported these ideas with first-person accounts of her time in Greenwich Village. She then argued that cities were living beings and ecosystems, and as a community activist, promoted the importance residents had on their own neighborhoods and how they were developed, as well as a bottom-up approach to planning. One of the ideas was the importance of sidewalks and the creation of terminology that includes street ballet, that creates a lively sidewalk life throughout the day and night by different inhabitants, both non-local and residents, and eyes of the street, encouraging people to look out for each other. She also highlighted the importance of distinct line between public and private that sidewalks create. Goals that related to the city diversity included the neighborhood that should include, one, the neighborhood should include a mixture of use and function. Rather than separating into separate areas, the commercial, industrial, residential, and cultural spaces, Jacob advocated for intermixing these. Walks should be short. This would make promoting walking to get to other parts of the neighborhood and buildings with other functions, and it would also promote people interacting. 3, neighborhoods should contain a mixture of older and newer buildings. Older buildings might need renovation and renewal, but should not simply be raised to make room for new buildings. As old buildings made for a more continuous character of the neighborhood, her work led to more focus on historical preservation. 4, a sufficiently dense population, she argued, contrary to the controversial wisdom, created safety and creativity, and also created more opportunities for human interaction. Denser neighborhoods created eyes on the streets, more than separating and isolating people would. Jacobs' writings and speeches influenced urbanist William H. White, as well as she is credited for inspiring the new urbanist movement that supported walkable neighborhoods, sustainable habits, and a wide range of housing and jobs. Her ideas fought against highway construction that supported car-centered lives and urban renewal initiatives brought forth by Robert Moses, a public official who pushed towards high-rise housing and urban renewal. The new urbanist movement was a response to the post-Second World War atmosphere of urban sprawl, suburban development, and automobile-centered lifestyles. Some examples of this now being influenced are the row houses by Rick Lowe in Houston, Texas. This was considered a potential example of Jacob-style urban design that responds in today's modern context, which solidified poor neighborhoods, embraced artists and the wealthy, and adds to the stock of affordable housing. Another example is Seaside, Florida. A series of striking pavilions mark the access points to a long sandy beach. Shops and restaurants cluster in their town centers. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.